if a trail angel is advertising their services and charging for them, are they still a trail angel? I'm not so sure. Hey y'all, I'm Jeffrey. Welcome back. Today we are diving into one of the most hotly talked about topics in the thru-hiking world, trail angels. Now, I want to start with a huge disclaimer. Trail angels are flippin' amazing. No thru hike could happen without them. They're the people who show up with cold drinks or ride to town or a floor to sleep on when you need it most. I cannot tell you how many trail angels saved my bacon on my PCT thru hike. Kristen, so many, 2 Kristens. Kristen and trail angels. I just realized I have multiple Kristen trail angels. But as thru hiking becomes more and more popular, we're seeing a shift. Now people are advertising as trail angels, but they're expecting tips, or sometimes they're just outright charging, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But are they still trail angels? I wonder if we need a new term for them. I don't know. Should we still call them trail angels when there's money involved, or does that expectation of payment change things? Let's dive into it. Okay, first and foremost, if you are unfamiliar with trail angels, let's talk about what a trail angel is. So imagine this, you've been hiking all day, your feet hurt, you're starving, and then bam, there's just a cooler of cold soda or beer at a trail crossing. Or somebody offers you a free ride to town just because they wanted to be nice. That is trail magic, unexpected, selfless kindness that lifts your spirits and reminds you of the good people in the world. But as trails like the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, the CDT get more and more crowded, we're seeing a shift, or I am seeing a shift. Are you seeing a shift? Some trail angels now are advertising for their services, listing suggested tips or even set, explicit prices. And honestly, I think that's great. I think that's totally fine. I mean, people are using their time, their gas. I don't think anyone could possibly expect any of this for free. But if someone wants to charge for their services to recoup the cost or even make a profit, I totally respect that. I think that's great. But here's where it gets a little tricky. If there's a financial expectation, I feel like we should maybe call it something other than trail magic and call them something other than trail angels. Because wouldn't it be a little less awkward if we just all agreed to be a little bit more transparent and upfront about money on the trail? I think so. Okay, first let's talk about tipping. Hello, hey, if you are sitting there thinking, I want to travel more, I want to go on more adventures, come with me. I host trips around the world. We've been hiking in Patagonia, we went looking for the Northern Lights in Iceland, trekking in Nepal, camping in Banff, Canada, in the Canadian Rockies. We do it all, and we have a real good time. Everyone's welcome. And all the details for any current trips, just click that little bubble up in the top corner, or go to my website, jjb.life/travel. And we almost always make at least one group cringy TikTok. So come hang out with us. We're a real good time. Tipping is a complicated, contentious topic here in the United States. And this is where things can get awkward. I mean, here's the thing. You've been hiking all day, somebody offers you a ride, and halfway through the trip, they casually mention that most people tip $20. Did they do it awkwardly? Of course, always. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with tipping, and it's great to show appreciation for someone's time and effort. But what's tricky is when there's an expectation, when it's expected, and that's not clear from the start. I think it gets tricky. It definitely made for a lot of awkward encounters, both for me and people in my family and other hikers. I don't think it's just a me problem. For hikers, especially those on a tight budget, those surprises can be really stressful. Finances is one of the biggest reasons that people have to finish their thru hike early. And so unexpectedly taking a ride and finding out that trail angel expected more than you had expected to give them, it can cause financial stress. It just can. So for reference, the thru-hiking community seems to have some very loose rules around tipping, but there's really no standard. For a ride, tipping anywhere from $5 to $10 is common, and just generally shows appreciation. And of course, that depends on a million factors. How long was the ride? I mean, there were trail angels that drove me almost 3 hours once. I mean, we gave them a chunk of change because it took their whole day. But are they just driving you a quarter mile down the road? You probably don't need a hitchhike for that if you're hiking for 5 months. But you understand my point. Again, 5 to 10 is a very loose generalization. It could be appropriate to give them a lot more than that or a lot less. The ride that was almost 3 hours for us, we gave her a couple $100, maybe more, because again, it took her whole day. It was a 3.5 hour drive, something like that. And so we wanted to make sure that it was worth her time. But here's the thing. Well, and you can also, you also might want to tip for trail angels who are doing like food or drink. If they're there, you'll have an opportunity to talk to them and offer, and they may absolutely refuse, or they might graciously accept it, or they might have a sign out explicitly, which is what the whole point of this video is. They might be explicitly and transparently letting everyone know what their expectation is so that everyone can kind of avoid that awkward dance. But we're going to get to that. But here's the thing. When tipping becomes expected rather than optional, it just starts to get weird, doesn't it? It starts to feel less like a gift and more like an obligation, more like a service, more like a business. And I think that's where the confusion and awkwardness comes in. Now, here's the thing. Trail magic has always been about community and generosity, and I absolutely unquestionably think there's still a place for that. Even as the hiking community evolves and grows, I hope we can maintain that. But if you're offering trail magic and you're relying on tips to make it sustainable, I can't say it enough, that's totally okay. But if you're running a full business to serve hikers, again, that's okay. But I think we need different labels for these things. What do you think? I know people are going to be opinionated. You can go to the comments now, finish the video first if you will, but I know the comments are going to get rowdy. So I'd love to know your thoughts. And at the very least, you probably want to go see other people's thoughts because I know that people are going to have some opinions about this. All right. So, I just think that, because we blur the lines between generosity and business, it can create a lot of misunderstandings for both thru-hikers and trail angels. And I think that I know that I'm advocating for us agreeing on a better way to do it. At the end of the day, maybe I'm just being a sensitive Midwesterner. I grew up in the Midwest. I've been accused in the past of being a delicate flower, so maybe it's not as awkward as I think it is. But I'm pretty sure it is. The next thing I want to discuss is the legal side of things. If you are accepting money for rides, you may be classified as a business. Depending on where you are, you almost definitely do qualify as a business. And if you do qualify as a business, you're operating a lot of the time on federal land, on either national park, national forestry, BLM land. What happens if there's an accident? Who is liable? Are you considered a taxi service at that point? If you are advertising for rides, taking money for rides, and giving rides, what happens if there's an accident? Who's liable? Are you compliant? No. And the thing is, I hate to bring that up because I don't want to ruin such a good thing, because it's so amazing how easy it is and how helpful all of these trail angels are. But the analytical side of my brain couldn't stop thinking about, what if? What would happen if? The Pacific Crest Trail Association, they advise against turning trail magic into a commercial operation for a reason. They want to preserve the spirit of the trail while also avoiding legal complications. I mean, it's worth asking, I think, if you are advertising, charging, or expecting tips, does that change your role from trail angel to, I don't know, trailpreneur? Okay, so Jeffrey, you're talking. What is the point? Well, here is the point. Here is the debate. Here is the big question. Should trail angels still be called trail angels if money is involved? Or does the expectation of payment change everything? Again, maybe it's not as awkward as I'm making it, and maybe I'm just being an overly sensitive Midwesterner, but personally, I absolutely think there's both. I have room for both. I think we can appreciate the people who offer to selflessly help hikers and the people who are building businesses to support hikers. But I think transparency, I think it's the key. And I think the community would benefit from finding an alternate name for those more business-minded trail angels. At the end of the day, if you are a trail angel expecting payment, I think here's the takeaway. Just be transparent up front. It makes the interaction so much more comfortable for everyone. Okay, so I don't know, what do y'all think? Should trail angels be renamed if money is involved, or is it just part of the evolution of through hiking and I need to stop whining and deal with it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from both hikers and trail angels. I mean, I think they go hand in hand. I don't think there are many trail angels who aren't hikers, but let me know your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed this video or you just love, a good hiking debate, hit that subscribe button. It really makes a difference. And check out all my other videos for more through hiking stories and tips. Okay, until next time, happy trails, and may your trail magic always feel, magical. Want to watch another video? Click here. Want to learn more about my upcoming trips? Click here. Want to subscribe and like all my videos and turn those bell notifications on?